Hi everyone, Paul Ambrogio, Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate. If you're thinking about moving to Algonquin, Illinois, this is the 2026 No Fluff Guide. Cost, commute, schools, home prices, the real vibe. And yes, I'll even mention the thing that makes grown adults argue in parking lots, Randall Road traffic. Now there's a lot to cover about Algonquin, Illinois, and we're not gonna get it all in this video. This is gonna be a little tease, little insert, a little tease of what's going on. We're definitely gonna have to do more videos to cover the entire village, but this is a start. So what we're gonna cover here is what Algonquin is really like day to day. Let's maybe talk about the schools. That's always a key thing that most people would like to know about. Let's talk about the commute and realistic expectations, right? What's it like on Randall Road, maybe the metro, maybe the expressway. Let's talk a little bit about homes costs right now. And we'll talk about Algonquin. Who is that really perfect for and who might not like it? All right, let's get into it. Number one, where is it, what is it, and why people move here? Although I don't know if I can honestly answer why they move here. There's so many great things about Algonquin. Algonquin is a northwest suburban community that sits right in that sweet spot, the Randall Road corridor. You're close enough to major shopping and commuter routes, but you're not living in the city of Chicago. Fun fact, Danny Bonaducci. Everybody remember Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family? And when he was on the Loop and the radio stations here in Chicago, he actually lived in Algonquin, Illinois. All right, so let's talk population. So population in Algonquin sits somewhere around 31,000 plus minus based on the last census quick fact estimate. That matters because it's big enough to have real amenities, but small enough that you still run into people at the grocery store that you might know. So be careful when you're wearing those sweatpants and no makeup. You guys also. Now that's either charming or horrifying. Depends on your relationship with sweatpants. I always tell my kids, where are you going with those pajamas? To Walmart? Be careful because you're going to run into somebody. Okay, so number two, schools. The one detail you need to know before you buy. Here's an important factor and an important part to consider. Algonquin is served by two school districts. That's right, two. Community Unit School District 300 and Huntley Community School District 158. And that's pretty much the area west of Fairway Drive is the borderline for School District 158. So if you're looking for Huntley schools, you want to be pretty much west of that Fairway Drive in Algonquin, which is west of Randall Road. For the most part, that shouldn't really affect value, but it could affect someone's opinion on if they're going to look at your property or not. Some people actually look for District 300 and some look for District 158. There's benefits to both. So you should know that when you're out looking for homes. Two houses can look identical, be priced similar, and be a few minutes apart, but land in different school districts. Keep that in mind. So if schools matter to you, do this. Pick your target neighborhood first, verify. Don't take the real estate agent's word. Don't take map, you might find online. Verify the boundaries with the school district and the school district tools, the official tools that they have online. You're ultimately responsible for picking that area, so make sure you know where you're picking. After you identify what school district you want to be in, you can start your home search. Because guessing school boundaries is like guessing which line at Starbucks is faster or which line at Woodman's grocery store is going to move quicker, and I always make the wrong decision. Okay, number three, commute reality. Can I get to Chicago? Yes, but let's be honest. You got to fight Randall Road to get to 90.
Biggest welterweights that I've seen.
And then once you get into the city, you're going to be sitting on that highway a good 45 minutes. It took us 2 hours to get to the Blackhawks game recently, and that was no fun. So you definitely want to plan accordingly. If you work downtown or want access to the city, most people here use Metro. There's two lines, one in Crystal Lake and one in Elgin. Take your pick, but you can get downtown pretty easy on the Metro. Now there's printable schedules online. You can find that at the Metro website. Now I'm going to say something that may shock you. A commute is not just train time, right? It's not just that train time. That's the good time, right? That's where you can listen to a podcast, some music, read a book. It's the drive time to the station. It's the parking. It's the waiting. And then it's the train. And then it's the final walk from the train to the office. You gotta consider all that. So yes, Algonquin can absolutely work for Chicago commuters, but if you're doing it daily, your quality of life depends on your schedule and your flexibility. It's not as bad as it seems. If your schedule allows you to work from home partially and partially in the office, I think Algonquin and the area become very attractive, more than if you were working 5 days a week downtown. All right, we're buzzing through this video. Number 4, what homes cost right now? Real current numbers. But keep in mind, these numbers reflect existing homes, new construction, single family, and attached. So that median price really gets stretched out. We really need to, once we know what you're looking for, we'll need to hone in on exactly new construction, existing, and really compare apple to apple. This is just to get you some general information. All right, let's talk numbers. Now again, these numbers are a little stretched because of what we're comparing, right? But in January 2026, Algonquin's median sales price was sitting somewhere around $391. Now that was up 2.2% year over year. Homes selling in about 70 days of market time on average. Now again, that's on average, that's existing homes and new construction. So that new construction brings up the market time. So on that market time, if we're looking at just resale homes, you're really looking 7 to 10 days. Homes are still moving very, very quick. Now, I don't really want to quote other real estate data websites, but there's a certain real estate data website that shows Algonquin as an average home sales price around $396, up 4.1%. And again, everybody's going to put their own little spin on the average sales price, especially when you start looking at line on some of these real estate websites that think they're a real estate company and they're not. You know, if you want more apple to apple, reach out. I can give you that information. That's what I do every day for the last 34 plus years. I live and breathe real estate. Reach out with any question. All right, so let's talk cost and monthly payment reality. You know, the thing everyone feels.
Yes, let it out. Have a good drive. Come on.
Now, I'm not going to give any specific numbers on payments because we don't really know what the amount is you're putting down and what your purchase price is. But mortgage rates, right? February 2026, let's talk about that. Nationwide, Freddie Mac shows the average 30-year fixed rate at 6.09%, and that's again as of February 12th, 2026. That matters because even if a home price only moves a little bit, the monthly payment can feel very different. Actually, yesterday, rates dropped to 5.8 for a short window. I mean, it felt like just a couple hours. So if you were looking, hopefully your lender reached out to you immediately and got you locked in at that 5.8. That was too good to be true. And if they didn't, reach out to me. I've got the best lender team that I work with and have worked with only them for the last 10 years. You'll be extremely happy. So if you are looking for a lender, reach out to me. I'll be happy to give you their information. So if you're buying a home in Algonquin, Illinois in 2026, the winning move is, you ready for this? Get pre-approved. Know your payment comfort zone. You do not want to be house poor. You still want to go out and do things, right? And don't fall in love with a house that turns your budget into a horror movie. You're not going to be happy. All right, we're chugging away here. Number 6, who Algonquin is perfect for and who it's not. It's perfect for everybody. Algonquin is usually a great fit for people who want that suburban convenience, families or individuals who value school options. But again, keep in mind the boundary line if you're looking for 300 or 158. Move up buyers and commuters who are hybrid or can work around peak hours. So you're not going down Randall Road in the middle of rush hour. Remember that. I've told you that 2-3 times now. Avoid Randall Road in the morning and the late afternoon in rush hour. You will start pulling your hair out. All right, I did say, I'm going to say who it might not be perfect for. And then I said it's perfect for everybody.
Say what?
But you know, maybe some people might not like it, right? If you want to walk everywhere, or if you want that downtown vibe, not going to happen. You're going to have to get in the car or on the bike. That's going to be your means of transportation unless you live in the downtown area of Algonquin. But still then, you can't really walk to shopping and those things. You will need transportation. And that's not only Algonquin. That's really everywhere in the suburban communities. You can't get on public transportation and take a bus everywhere like you can in the city of Chicago. Although I would never do that in the city of Chicago anymore. No way, heck no. You are not catching me on any of that public transportation. I value my life too much. I'm not taking a chance. There's a reason why we moved out to the suburbs 25 years ago. We wanted a different way of life. So don't come for me. I love Chicago. I go back there almost every other day, it seems like, for clients. I know the area extremely well, sell all over the city of Chicago because I've been selling real estate for 34 years. My clients are everywhere. I just didn't want to live in Chicago anymore because we started having kids and we wanted that better school system for the kids to give them a shot at success in life, which I think the kids would agree and said we made a good choice there for them. Also, if you hate driving for errands, Algonquin or the suburbs are not for you. Or if you want a tiny town with zero traffic, Algonquin's not for you. There's traffic. It's a growing area. You know, Algonquin, Huntley, and Lake in the Hills all really run together. And I bet you we can just combine forces and become this one mecca, this one huge area. And if we did that, you'd really be looking at 100,000 population easy, because each of those three villages have at least 30,000 now in each one of them, maybe more. So that would be huge. So if you just took that out, really, it's a small little mecca. I mean, with a good sized population. So Algonquin gives you a lot, but you share that a lot with everybody else who wants the same convenience as you. Okay, number 7. My quick advice if you're moving here to Algonquin, Illinois, pick the lifestyle first. Commute needs, school needs, walking trails versus shopping access. Then pick the neighborhood. Then dial in to the exact home and you should be extremely happy. If you want, comment Algonquin and tell me what matters most. Commute, schools, budget, or lifestyle. And I'll point you toward the best fitting areas to start looking in. And if you're buying or selling in Algonquin or surrounding areas, I would love to be your go-to real estate broker. Again, I'm Paul Ambrogio, Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate, and we've got you covered. Send me a DM, phone, voicemail, text message, send a carrier pigeon, however you want to do it. Know that I got your back when buying or selling in the greater Algonquin, Huntley, Lake in the Hills area. Over and out, and we'll talk soon.